10 Marvel and DC movies that don't have happy endings. Superheroes may be known for stopping villains and saving the day, but some Marvel and DC films choose to end on a much more negative note. Not all Marvel and DC superhero movies have happy endings. Some end on sad or bittersweet notes, with heroes making sacrifices or facing defeats. Examples include Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Captain America: Civil War, where the heroes emerge victorious but face significant setbacks. Logan and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice have particularly heartbreaking endings, with major sacrifices made by the heroes to save others. Sometimes, the villain remains undefeated and is preparing to return for another confrontation in the next movie, and other times, heroes even end up being defeated outright and are forced to regroup. Here are 10 Marvel and DC movies with sad or bittersweet endings. 10 Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Quantumania does technically end on a note of victory, with Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, and his allies stopping Kong and returning to the world above. But Scott pondering the evil Kong warned him about indicates that he knows there are bigger, worse things coming. 9 Captain America: Civil War. Adapted from the Marvel Comics Civil War story arc, Captain America: Civil War sees the Avengers ideologically divided by the implementation of the Sokovia Accords, intended to provide government oversight to superhuman actions. This change, and Captain America, Chris Evans, trying to rescue his formerly brainwashed friend Bucky Barnes, Sebastian Stan, leads to Earth's mightiest heroes being torn apart. In the end, their conflict is revealed to have been set in motion by the vengeful Helmut Zemo, Daniel Bridge #special char $HL, with their divide being one that only the eventual arrival of Thanos can undo. 8 Captain America: The First Avenger. After an injection of the experimental super soldier serum, the once scrawny Steve Rogers becomes the muscled-up stalwart hero Captain America in Captain America: The First Avenger. After decades cryogenically frozen, Steve awakens in 21st century New York, with the last 70 years having passed him by. Sadly, despite Steve promising to return to his love Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell, Steve's cryogenic stasis keeps him from making their date. 7 Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Under the direction of Sam Raimi, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the MCU's first real horror movie, in which Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, under the influence of the Darkhold, becomes a murderous villain determined to reach her children in another universe. Though Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, manages to stop Wanda, her downfall is still heart-wrenching, with her history of heroism as an Avenger. Additionally, with the arrival of Clea, Charlize Theron, and Strange sudden sprouting a third eye, the movie's Raimi-style cliffhanger suggests not all has been set right in the multiverse. 6 Watchmen. Zack Snyder's Watchmen adapts the eponymous and highly influential graphic novel by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, in which Rorschach, Jackie Earle Haley, investigates the murder of former hero the comedian, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. After uncovering Ozymandias's, Matthew Good, plan to unite the world against a common enemy in Dr. Manhattan, Billy Crudup, the latter kills Rorschach before he can unveil the truth, understanding that it may be what the world needs. 5 X-Men: First Class. Set in 1962, X-Men: First Class tells the origin of Marvel's famous team of mutant heroes, with Professor Charles Xavier, James McAvoy, and Eric Lensher, Michael Fassbender, bringing the X-Men together. While Xavier is left paralyzed from the waist down, X-Men: First Class also concludes with Eric finally becoming the villainous mutant known as Magneto. 4 Avengers: Infinity War. Determined to collect the 6 Infinity Stones in order to cut the population of the universe in half to prevent resources from being wiped out like they were on his home planet Titan, Thanos overcomes the efforts of the Avengers to stop him, committing the infamous genocidal act that would come to be known as the Snap. 3 The Dark Knight. Though Batman captures the Joker, the Clown Prince of Crime reveals he has an ace in the hole, namely District Attorney Harvey Dent, Aaron Eckhart, who has been disfigured and corrupted by the murder of Rachel Dawes, Maggie Gyllenhaal, to become the bitter and vengeful Two-Face. 2 Logan. Wolverine would finally pop his claws for a truly R-rated ride in James Mangold's Logan, by far the darkest chapter of the X-Men franchise, with the acclaimed Old Man Logan comics arc as its major influence. With Logan's mentor Professor Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart, being killed in their travels, Logan ultimately sacrifices his life to save the children, with Laura tearfully burying him with an X as his tombstone. Even with Hugh Jackman's subsequent return in Deadpool 3, Logan's ending is still a Marvel tearjerker. 1. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The Man of Steel and the Dark Knight come to blows in Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, combining The Dark Knight Returns and the death of Superman into a new story. After Lex unleashes his monstrous creation Doomsday, Superman is forced to sacrifice himself to stop the rampaging beast. In the end, though, Superman triumphantly returns to help his fellow DC superheroes in Justice League.